on the occasion of Buddha Purnima, the Vajrakata Sutra. I prostrate to all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Thus did I hear at one time, the Bhagwan is dwelling at Shravasti, in the grove of Prince Jeta, in the garden of Anathapindada, together with a great Sangha of Bhikshus, of 1,250 Bhikshus, and a great many Bodhisattva Mahasattvas. Then, in the morning, having put on the lower and upper dharma robes, and carried the begging bowl, the Bhagwan entered the great city of Shravasti to request alms. Then, having gone to the great city of Shravasti to request alms, the Bhagwan afterwards enjoyed the alms food, and having performed activity of food, since he had given up alms of later food, put away the begging bowl and upper robe. He washed his feet, sat upon the prepared cushion, and having assumed the cross-legged posture, straightened the body upright and placed mindfulness in thought. Then many bhikshus approached to the place where the Bhagwan was, and having reached there, bowing their heads to the Bhagwan's feet, circumambulated 3 times and sat to one side. Also at the time, the Venerable Subhuti, joining that very assembly, sat down. Then the Venerable Subhuti rose from the seat, placed the upper robe over one shoulder, set his right knee on the ground, bowed, joining the palms toward the Bhagwan, and said this to the Bhagwan: Bhagwan, the extent to which the Tathagata Arhat perfectly enlightened Buddha has benefited the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas with highest benefit, the extent to which the Tathagata has entrusted the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas with highest entrustment. Bhagwan, it is astonishing. Sugata, it is astonishing. Bhagwan, how should one who has correctly entered the Bodhisattva vehicle abide? How practice? How control the mind? That was said, and the Bhagwan said to the Venerable Subhuti: Subhuti, well said Subhuti. It is so. The Tathagata has benefited the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas with the highest benefit. The Tathagata has entrusted the Bodhisattva Mahasattvas with the highest entrustment. Subhuti, therefore, listen and properly retain it in mind, and I will explain to you how one who has correctly entered the Bodhisattva vehicle should abide, how practice, how control the mind. Having replied, Bhagwan, so be it, the Venerable Subhuti listened in accordance with the Bhagwan, and the Bhagwan said this: Subhuti, here, one who has correctly entered the Bodhisattva vehicle should generate the mind of enlightenment, thinking this: as many as are included in the category of sentient beings, born from egg, born from the womb, born from heat and moisture, born miraculously, with form, with discrimination, without discrimination, but not without subtle discrimination, the realm of sentient beings, as many as are designated by imputation as sentient beings, all those I shall cause to pass completely beyond sorrow into the realm of nirvana, without remainder of the aggregates. Although limitless sentient beings have thus been caused to pass completely beyond sorrow, no sentient being whatsoever has been caused to pass completely beyond sorrow. Why is that? Subhuti, because if a bodhisattva engages in discriminating a sentient being, he is not to be called a bodhisattva. Why is that? Subhuti, if anyone engages in discriminating a sentient being, or engages in discriminating a living being, or engages in discriminating a person, they are not to be called a bodhisattva. Further, Subhuti, a bodhisattva gives a gift without abiding in a thing, gives a gift without abiding in any phenomenon whatsoever. A gift should be given not abiding in visual form. A gift should be given not abiding in sound, smell, taste, tactility, or phenomenon either. Subhuti, without abiding in discriminating anything whatsoever as any sign, thus does a bodhisattva give a gift. Why is that? Subhuti, because the heap of merit of that bodhisattva who gives a gift without abiding, Subhuti, is not easy to take the measure of. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Do you think it is easy to take the measure of space in the east? Subhuti replied, Bhagwan, it is not so. Bhagwan said, Subhuti, similarly, do you think it is easy to take the measure of space in the south, west, north, above, below, the intermediate sections, and the 10 directions? Subhuti replied, Bhagwan, it is not so. The Bhagwan said, Subhuti, similarly, the heap of merit of that bodhisattva who gives a gift without abiding is also not easy to take the measure of. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Is one viewed as a Tathagata due to the perfect marks? Subhuti replied, Bhagwan, it is not so. One is not viewed as a Tathagata due to the perfect marks. Why is that? Because that itself is the Tathagata called perfect marks or not perfect marks. He replied thus, and the Bhagwan said this to the Venerable Subhuti. Subhuti, to the degree there are perfect marks, to that degree there is deception. To the degree there are no perfect marks, to that degree there is no deception. Thus, view the Tathagata as marks and no marks. He said that, and the Venerable Subhuti replied to the Bhagwan, Bhagwan, in the future period, at the end of the 500, when the holy dharma will totally perish, will any sentient beings produce correct discrimination upon the words of sutras such as this being explained? The Bhagwan says, Subhuti, do not say what you have said. In the future period, at the end of the 500, when the holy dharma will totally perish, will any sentient beings produce correct discrimination upon the words of sutras such as this being explained? Moreover, Subhuti, in the future period, at the end of the 500, when the holy dharma will totally perish, there will be bodhisattva mahasattvas, endowed with morality, endowed with qualities, endowed with wisdom. Those bodhisattva mahasattvas, moreover, will not have made homage to just a single Buddha. They will not have produced roots of virtue to just a single Buddha. Subhuti, there will be bodhisattva mahasattvas who have made homage to many hundreds, thousands of Buddhas and produced roots of virtue to many hundreds of thousands of Buddhas. Subhuti, those who will acquire merely a single mind of faith upon the words of such sutras as this being explained. Subhuti, the Tathagata knows. Subhuti, they are seen by Tathagata. Subhuti, all these sentient beings will produce and perfectly collect an unfathomable heap of merit. Why is that? Subhuti, because those bodhisattva mahasattvas will not engage in discriminating a self and will not discriminate a sentient being, will not discriminate a living being, will not engage in discriminating a person. Subhuti, those bodhisattva mahasattvas will not engage in discriminating a phenomenon, nor discriminating non-phenomena, nor will they engage in discrimination or non-discrimination. Why is that, Subhuti? Because if those bodhisattva mahasattvas engage in discriminating phenomena, that itself would be of them grasping a self and grasping a sentient being, grasping a living being, grasping a person. Because even if they engage in discriminating phenomena as non-existent, that would be of them grasping a self and grasping a sentient being, grasping a living being, grasping a person. Why is that? Further, Subhuti, because the bodhisattva should not wrongly grasp phenomena, nor grasp non-phenomena. Therefore, thinking of that, the Tathagata said, if by those who know this dharma treaties as like a boat, even dharma should be given up, what need is there to mention non-dharmas? Further, the Bhagwan said this to the Venerable Subhuti. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does that dharma that was manifestly and completely realized by Tathagata, unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment exists whatsoever? Has any dharma been taught by the Tathagata? He said that, and the Venerable Subhuti replied to the Bhagwan, Bhagwan, as I understand this meaning that was taught by the Bhagwan, that dharma that is manifestly and completely realized by Tathagata, unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment, does not exist whatsoever. That dharma that is taught by Tathagata does not exist whatsoever. Why is that? Because any dharma manifestly and completely realized or taught by the Tathagata is not to be grasped, not to be expressed. It is not dharma, nor is it non-dharma. Why is that? Because Arya beings are differentiated by their uncompounded. The Bhagwan said this to the Venerable Subhuti. Subhuti, what do you think about this? If some son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage completely filling this billion-fold world system with the 7 types of precious things, what to give gifts, do you think that son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage would produce an immense heap of merit on that basis? Subhuti replied, Bhagwan, immense, Sugata, immense. That son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage would produce an immense heap of merit on that basis. Why is that, Bhagwan? Because that very heap of merit is not a heap. Therefore, the Tathagata says heap of merit, heap of merit. Bhagwan says, Subhuti, compared to any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who completely filling this billion-fold world system with the 7 types of precious things, what a good gifts. If someone having taken even as little as 1 stanza or 4 lines from this disclosed dharma, also were to explain and correctly and thoroughly teach it to others, on that basis the heap of merit produced would be much greater, incalculable, unfathomable. Why is that? Subhuti, because the unsurpassed, perfectly completed enlightenment of the Tathagata or have perfectly completed Buddhas arises from it. The Buddha Bhagwans also are produced from it. Why is that? Subhuti, because the Buddha Dharma is called Buddha Dharmas, or those Buddha Dharmas taught by the Tathagatas are non-existent. Therefore, they are called Buddha Dharmas. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the stream emperor think I have attained the result of stream emperor? Subhuti replied, Bhagwan, it is not so. Why is that, Bhagwan? Because one does not enter into anything whatsoever. Therefore, one is called stream emperor. One has not entered into form, nor entered into sound, nor into smell, nor into taste, nor into tactility, nor entered into phenomenon. Therefore, one is called stream emperor. Bhagwan, if the stream emperor were to think I have attained the result of stream emperor, that itself would be a grasping of that as a self, grasping as a sentient being, grasping as a living being, grasping as a person. Bhagavan says, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the once returner think I have attained the result of once returner? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is not so. Why is that? Because the phenomenon of entry into the state of the once returner does not exist whatsoever. Therefore, one says once returner. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the non-returner think I have attained the result of non-returner? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is not so. Why is that? Because the phenomenon of entry into the state of the non-returner does not exist whatsoever. Therefore, one says non-returner. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the Arhat think I have attained the result of Arhatship? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is not so. Why is that? Because the phenomenon called Arhat does not exist whatsoever. Bhagavan, if the Arhat were to think I have attained the result of Arhatship, that itself would be a grasping of that as a self. Grasping as a sentient being, grasping as a living being, grasping as a person. Bhagavan, I will declare the Tathagata Arhat perfectly completed Buddha as the foremost of those who abide without afflictions. Bhagavan, I am an Arhat, free of attachment. But Bhagavan, I do not think I am an Arhat. Bhagavan, if I were to think I have attained Arhatship, the Tathagata would not have made the prediction about me saying, the son of the lineage, the Buddhi, is the foremost of those who abide without afflictions. Since not abiding in anything whatsoever, he abides without affliction. He abides without affliction. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does that dharma that was received by the Tathagata from the Tathagata Arhat perfectly completed Buddha Dipankara exist whatsoever? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is not so. The dharma that was received by the Tathagata from the Tathagata Arhat perfectly completed Buddha Dipankara does not exist whatsoever. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, if some bodhisattva were to say, I shall actualize arranged fields, they would speak untruly. Why is that? Subhuti, because arranged fields, called arranged fields, those arrangements are taught by Tathagata as non-existent. Therefore, they are called arranged fields. Subhuti, therefore, the Bodhisattva Mahasattas thus should generate the mind without abiding, should generate the mind not abiding in anything. They should generate the mind not abiding in form, should generate the mind not abiding in sound, smell, taste, activity, or phenomenon. Subhuti, it is like this. If, for example, the body of a being were to become thus, were to become like this, as big as Sinari, the king of mountains, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Would that body be big? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, that body would be big. Sagrata, that body would be big. Why is that? Because it is taught by Tathagata as not being a thing. Therefore, it is called a body. Since it is taught by Tathagata as not being a thing, therefore it is called a big body. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, what do you think about this? If there were also just as many Ganges rivers as there are grains of sand in the river Ganges, would their grains of sand be many? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, if those very Ganges rivers were many, there is no need to mention the grains of sand. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, you should appreciate, you should understand. If some man or woman completely filling with the 7 kinds of precious things, that many world systems that there are grains of sand of the rivers Ganges, but to offer that to the Tathagata Arhat perfectly completed Buddha. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Would that man or woman produce much merit on that basis? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, much. Siddhartha, much. That man or woman would produce much merit on that basis. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, compared to someone who completely filling that many world systems with the 7 types of precious things, were to give gifts to the Tathagata Arhat perfectly completed Buddhas. If someone having taken even as little as a stanza of 4 lines from this discourse of Dharma, were to explain it or correctly and thoroughly teach it also to others, on that basis, the merit that itself would produce would be much greater, incalculable, unfathomable. Furthermore, Subhuti, if at whatever place on earth even a stanza of 4 lines from this discourse on Dharma is recited or taught, that place on earth is a real shrine of the world, with devas, humans and asuras. What need to mention that whoever takes up this discourse of Dharma, memorizes, reads, understands and properly takes to mind will be most astonishing. At that place on earth where the teacher resides, other levels of gurus also abide. He said that, and the Venerable Subhuti replied to Bhagavan, Bhagavan, what is the name of the discourse of Dharma? How should it be remembered? He said that, and the Bhagavan replied to the Venerable Subhuti, Subhuti, the name of the Dharma discourse is the wisdom gone beyond, and it should be remembered like that. Why is that? Subhuti, because the very same wisdom gone beyond that is taught by the Tathagata is not gone beyond. Therefore, it is called wisdom gone beyond. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the Dharma that is taught by Tathagata exist whatsoever? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, the Dharma that is taught by the Tathagata does not exist whatsoever. Bhagavan said, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Are the quantities of particles of earth that exist in the billion-fold world system many? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, the particles of earth are many, Siddhartha, they are many. Why is that? Bhagwan, because that which is a particle of earth was taught by the Tathagata as not being a particle. Therefore, it is called particle of earth. That which is a world system was taught by Tathagata as not being a world system. Therefore, it is called a world system. The Bhagwan says, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Is one to be viewed as a Tathagata Arhat perfectly completed Buddha due to those 32 marks of a great being? Subhuti replied, Bhagwan, it is not so. Why is that? Bhagwan, because those 32 marks of a great being that are taught by the Tathagata are taught by Tathagata as no marks. Therefore, they are called 32 marks of the Tathagata. Bhagwan says, further Subhuti, compared with some man or woman completely giving up bodies, numbering the grains of sand, the river Ganges, is someone taking even as little as a stanza of 4 lines from this discourse of Dharma, also were to teach it to others, they will produce on that basis many greater merits, incalculable, unfathomable. Thereupon the Venerable Subhuti, due to the impact of the Dharma, shed tears. Having wiped away the tears, he replied to the Bhagwan, this discourse on the Dharma taught thus by the Tathagata. Bhagwan, it is astonishing. Sugata, it is astonishing. Bhagwan, since my production of exalted wisdom, I have never before heard this discourse on Dharma. Bhagwan, those sentient beings who will produce correct discrimination upon the sutra being explained will be the most astonishing. Why is that? Bhagwan, because that which is correct discrimination is not discrimination. Therefore, correct discrimination is taught by Tathagata saying correct discrimination. Bhagwan, upon this Dharma discourse being explained, that I imagine and appreciate is not astonishing. To me, Bhagwan, in the final time, in the final age, at the end of the 500, those sentient beings who take up this Dharma discourse, memorize, read and understand it will be most astonishing. Furthermore, Bhagwan, they will not engage in discriminating a self, they will not engage in discriminating a sentient being, discriminating a living being, discriminating a person. Why is that? Bhagwan, because that itself which is discrimination as a self, discrimination as a sentient being, discrimination as a living being, and discrimination as a person is not discrimination. Why is that? Because the Buddha Bhagwans are free of all discrimination. He said that, and the Bhagwan replied to the Venerable Subhuti, Subhuti, it is so, it is so. Upon the sutra being explained, those sentient beings who are unafraid, unterrified, and will not become terrified will be most astonishing. Why is that, Subhuti? Because the highest wisdom gone beyond, taught by Tathagata, the highest wisdom gone beyond that is taught by Tathagata, was also taught by unfathomable Buddha Bhagwans. Therefore, it is called highest wisdom gone beyond. Further, Subhuti, that itself which is the patience gone beyond of the Tathagata has not gone beyond. Why is that, Subhuti? Because when the king of Kaluga cut off my limbs and appendages, at that time there did not arise in me discrimination as a self, discrimination as a sentient being, discrimination as a living being, nor discrimination as a person, and in me there was no discrimination whatsoever. Yet there was also no non-discrimination. Why is that, Subhuti? Because if at that time there had arisen in me discrimination as a self, at that time there would be also have arisen discrimination of malice. If there had arisen discrimination as a sentient being, discrimination as a living being, discrimination as a person, at that time there would also have arisen discrimination of malice. Subhuti, I know with clairvoyance that in the past period, during 500 lifetimes, I was a rishi called preacher of patience. Even then, there did not arise in me the discrimination as a self. There did not arise the discrimination as a sentient being, discrimination as a living being, discrimination as a person. Subhuti, therefore, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, completely abandoning all discrimination, should generate the mind for unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment. One should generate the mind not abiding in form. One should generate the mind not abiding in sound, smell, taste, activity, or phenomena. One should generate the mind not abiding in non-phenomena either. One should generate the mind not abiding in anything whatsoever. Why is that? Because that itself which is abiding does not abide. Therefore, the Tathagata taught the Bodhisattva should give gifts not abiding. Further, Subhuti, the Bodhisattva should thus totally give away gifts for the welfare of all sentient beings. However, that itself which is discrimination as a sentient being is non-discrimination. Those themselves who were taught by Tathagata saying all sentient beings also do not exist. Why is that, Subhuti? Because the Tathagata teaches reality, teaches truth, teaches what is. The Tathagata teaches what is without error. Further, Subhuti, the Dharma that is manifestly completely realized or shown by Tathagata has neither truth nor falsity. Subhuti, it is like this. For example, if a man with eyes has entered darkness, he does not see anything whatsoever. Likewise, should one view the Bodhisattva who totally gives up a gift by falling into anything. Subhuti, it is like this. For example, upon dawn and the sun rising, a man with eyes sees various kinds of forms. Likewise, should one view the Bodhisattva who totally gives up a gift by not falling into anything. Further, Subhuti, those sons of the lineage or daughters of the lineage who take up this Dharma discourse, memorize, read, understand, and correctly and thoroughly teach it to others in detail are known by Tathagata. They are seen by Tathagata. All those sentient beings will produce an unfathomable heap of merit. Further, Subhuti, compared to some man or woman at the time of dawn, totally giving up bodies numbering the grains of sand of the river Ganges, also totally giving up bodies numbering the grains of sand of the river Ganges at the time of midday and evening. In such number, totally giving up bodies from many hundreds of thousands, 10 million, 100 billion years. If someone, having heard this Dharma discourse, would not reject it, would they themselves would produce much greater merit on that basis, incalculable, unfathomable. What need to mention someone who, having written it in letters, takes it up, memorizes, reads, understands, and correctly and thoroughly teaches it to others in detail? Further, Subhuti, this Dharma discourse is unimaginable and incomparable. This Dharma discourse is taught by Tathagata for the benefit of sentient beings who have correctly entered into the supreme vehicle, the welfare of sentient beings who have correctly entered into the best vehicle. Those who take up this Dharma discourse, memorize, read, understand, and correctly and thoroughly teach it to others in detail are known by Tathagata. They are seen by Tathagata. All those sentient beings being endowed with an unimaginable heap of merit, incomparable, immeasurable, and limitless. All the sentient beings will hold my enlightening on the shoulder. Why is that? Subhuti, this Dharma discourse is unable to be heard by those who appreciate the inferior, by those viewing a self, by those viewing a sentient being, by those viewing as living being. Those viewing a person are unable to hear, to take up, to memorize, to read, and to understand, because that cannot be. Further, Subhuti, at whatever place on earth this sutra is taught, that place on earth will become worthy to be paid homage by the world with devas, humans, and asuras. That place on earth will become worthy as an object of prostration and worthy as an object of circumambulation. That place on earth will become like a shrine. Subhuti, whatever son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage takes up the words of the sutra like this, memorizes, reads, and understands, they will be tormented, will be intensely tormented. Why is that? Subhuti, because whatever non-virtuous actions of former lifetimes that were committed by those sentient beings that would bring rebirth in the lower realms due to torment in this very life, those non-virtuous actions of former lifetimes will be purified, and they will also attain the enlightenment of a Buddha. Subhuti, I know with clairvoyance that in the past period, in even more countless eons, much beyond, even beyond the Tathagata Arhat perfectly completed Buddha Dipankara, there were 84,100,000 of 10 million, 100 billion Buddhas whom I pleased, and having pleased did not upset. Subhuti, from whatever I did, having pleased and not having upset those Buddha Bhagwans, and in the future period, at the end of the 500, from someone taking up the sutra, memorizing, reading, and understanding, Subhuti, compared with this heap of merit, the former heap of merit does not approach even 100th part, 1,000 part, 100,000 part, does not withstand enumeration, measure, calculation, similarity, equivalence, or comparison. Subhuti, at the time, the sons of the lineage or daughters of the lineage will receive a quantity of heap of merit, that if I were to express the heap of merit of those sons of the lineage or daughters of the lineage, sentient beings would go mad, would be disturbed. For the Subhuti, with this Dharma discourse being unimaginable, this maturation indeed should also be known as unimaginable. Then the Venerable Subhuti replied to the Bhagwan, Bhagwan, how should one who has correctly entered the Bodhisattva's way abide? How practice? How control the mind? The Bhagwan said, Subhuti, here one who has correctly entered the Bodhisattva's vehicle should generate the mind thinking this. I shall cause all sentient beings to pass completely beyond sorrow into the realm of nirvana, without remainder of the aggregates. Although sentient beings were caused to pass completely beyond sorrow like that, no sentient being whatsoever was caused to pass beyond sorrow. Why is that? Subhuti, because if a bodhisattva engages in discriminating a sentient being, he is not to be called a bodhisattva. Also, if he engages in discriminating a person, he is not to be called a bodhisattva. Why is that? Subhuti, because the dharma called one who has correctly entered the bodhisattva's vehicle does not exist whatsoever. Subhuti, what do you think of this? Does the dharma that was manifestly and completely realized by Tathagata from the Tathagata Dipankara, unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment, exist whatsoever? He said that, and the Venerable Subhuti replied to Bhagwan, Bhagwan, that dharma that was manifestly and completely realized by Tathagata from the Tathagata Dipankara, unsurpassed, perfect, complete enlightenment, does not exist whatsoever. He said that, and the Bhagwan replied to the Venerable Subhuti, Subhuti, It is so, it is so. That dharma that is manifestly and completely realized by the Tathagata from the Tathagata Dipankara, unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment, does not exist whatsoever. Subhuti, if that dharma that was manifestly and completely realized by the Tathagata were to exist at all, the Tathagata Dipankara would not have made the prediction to me saying, young Brahmin, in a future period, you will become the Tathagata Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha called Shakyamuni. Subhuti, thus, since that dharma that is manifestly and completely realized by the Tathagata, unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment, does not exist whatsoever, therefore, the Tathagata Dipankara made the prediction to be saying, young Brahmin, in a future period you will become the Tathagata or a perfectly completed Buddha called Shakyamuni. Why is that? Because Subhuti, Tathagata is an epithet of the suchness of reality. Subhuti, if someone were to say the Tathagata Arhat perfectly completed Buddha, manifestly and completely realized, unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment, they would speak wrongly. Why is that? Subhuti, because that dharma that was manifestly and completely realized by Tathagata, unsurpassed, perfect, complete enlightenment, does not exist whatsoever. Subhuti, that dharma that was manifestly and completely realized by Tathagata has neither truth nor falsity. Therefore, all dharmas are Buddha dharmas, was taught by Tathagata. Subhuti, all dharmas, all those are non-dharmas. Therefore, it is said that all dharmas are Buddha dharmas. Subhuti, it is like this. For example, like a human endowed with a body, and the body became large. The Venerable Subhuti replied, Bhagwan, that taught by the Tathagata, a human endowed with a body and a large body, is taught by Tathagata as not being a body. Therefore, endowed with a body and a large body is said. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, it is so. If some bodhisattva were to say, I shall cause sentient beings to completely pass beyond sorrow, he should not be called bodhisattva. Why is that? Subhuti, does the dharma that is called bodhisattva exist whatsoever? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan does not. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, therefore it was taught by the Tathagata that all dharmas are without a sentient being, without a living being, without a person. Subhuti, if some bodhisattva were to say, I shall actualize arranged beings, he too should be expressed similarly. Why is that, Subhuti? Because the arranged beings called arranged beings are those taught by Tathagata as non-arranged. Therefore, they are called arranged beings. Subhuti, whatever bodhisattva appreciates that dharmas are selfless, saying dharmas are selfless, he is expressed by Tathagata Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha as a bodhisattva called a bodhisattva. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the Tathagata possess the flesh eye? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so. The Tathagata possesses the flesh eye. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the Tathagata possess a divine eye? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so. The Tathagata possesses the divine eye. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the Tathagata possess the wisdom eye? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so. The Tathagata possesses the wisdom eye. Bhagavan says, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the Tathagata possess the dharma eye? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so. The Tathagata possesses the dharma eye. Bhagavan says, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does the Tathagata possess the Buddha eye? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so. The Tathagata possesses the Buddha eye. Bhagavan said, Subhuti, what do you think about this? If there be also just as many Ganges rivers as there are grains of sand in the river Ganges, there were just as many world systems as there are grains of sand of those. Would those world systems be many? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is so. Those world systems would be many. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, as many sentient beings as exist in those world systems, I totally know their continuum of consciousness of different thoughts. Why is that, Subhuti? Because the so-called continuum of consciousness is that thought by the Tathagata as a non-continuum. Therefore, it is called the continuum of consciousness. Why is that? Subhuti, because past consciousness does not exist as an observable, nor does future consciousness exist as an observable, nor does present consciousness exist as an observable. Subhuti, what do you think about this? If someone completely filling this billion-fold world system with the 7 types of precious things were to give gifts, do you think that son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage would produce an enormous heap of merit on that basis? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, enormous. Sugata, enormous. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, it is so. It is so. That son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage would produce an enormous heap of merit on that basis. Subhuti, if a heap of merit were a heap of merit, the Tathagata would not have taught a heap of merit called a heap of merit. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Should one be viewed as a Tathagata due to total achievement of the form body? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is not so. One should not be viewed as Tathagata due to the total achievement of the form body. Why is that, Bhagavan? Because total achievement of the form body is that taught by Tathagata is not being total achievement. Therefore, it is called total achievement of the form body. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, what do you think about this? Is one to be viewed as the Tathagata due to perfect marks? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is not so. One is not to be viewed as Tathagata due to perfect marks. Why is that? Because that which was taught by Tathagata as perfect marks was taught by Tathagata as not being perfect marks. Therefore, they are called perfect marks. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, what do you think about this? If it is thought that the Tathagata considers the Dharma is demonstrated by me, Subhuti, do not view it like that. Because the Dharma that is demonstrated by Tathagata does not exist whatsoever. Subhuti, if someone were to say the Dharma is demonstrated by Tathagata, Subhuti, he would depreciate me. Since non-existent and wrongly sees, why is that? Subhuti, because that demonstrated Dharma called demonstrated Dharma, which is referred to saying demonstrated Dharma, does not exist whatsoever. Then the Venerable Subhuti said to the Bhagavan, in the future period, will there be any sentient beings who, having heard this demonstration of such a Dharma as this, will clearly believe? The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, they are not sentient beings nor non-sentient beings. Why is that, Subhuti? So-called sentient beings, because they were taught by Tathagata as non-sentient beings, therefore called sentient beings. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Does that Dharma that was manifestly and completely realized by Tathagata unsurpassed perfect complete enlightenment exist whatsoever? The Venerable Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, that Dharma that is taught manifestly and completely realized by Tathagata, unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment does not exist whatsoever. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, it is so, it is so. For it, even the least Dharma does not exist and is not observed. Therefore, it is called unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment. Further, Subhuti, that Dharma is equivalent since, for it, inequivalence does not exist whatsoever. Therefore, it is called unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment. That unsurpassed, perfect and complete enlightenment, equivalent as selfless, without sentient being, without living being, without person, is manifestly and completely realized through all virtuous dharmas. Subhuti, virtuous dharmas called virtuous dharmas. They taught by the Tathagatas as just non-dharmas are therefore called virtuous dharmas. Further, Subhuti, compared to any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage, collecting a heap of the 7 types of precious things, about equaling whatever Sumeru, king of mountains, exists in a billion world systems, and giving gifts if someone, having taken up even as little as a stanza of 4 lines from this wisdom gone beyond, what would teach it to others. Subhuti, compared to this heap of merit, that former heap of merit, having not approached even 100th part, does not withstand comparison. Subhuti, what do you think about this? It is thought that the Tathagata considers sentient beings are liberated by me. Subhuti, do not view it like that. Why is that, Subhuti? Because those sentient beings who are liberated by Tathagata do not exist whatsoever. Subhuti, if some sentient being were to be liberated by the Tathagata, that itself would be of the Tathagata grasping a self, grasping a sentient being, grasping a living being, grasping a person. Subhuti, so-called grasping a self, that is taught by Tathagata as non-grasping, yet that is grasped by childish ordinary beings. Subhuti, so-called childish ordinary beings, they were taught by Tathagata as just non-beings. Therefore, they are called childish ordinary beings. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Is one to be viewed as the Tathagata due to perfect marks? Subhuti replied, Bhagavan, it is not so. One is not viewed as Tathagata due to perfect marks. The Bhagavan says, Subhuti, it is so, it is so. One is not viewed as Tathagata due to perfect marks. Subhuti, if one were viewed as Tathagata due to perfect marks, even a Chakravartin king would be the Tathagata. Therefore, one is not viewed as Tathagata due to perfect marks. Then the Venerable Subhuti said to the Bhagavan, Bhagavan, as I understand the meaning of what the Bhagavan has said, one is not viewed as Tathagata due to perfect marks. Then these verses are spoken by Bhagavan at the time. Whoever sees me as form, whoever knows me as sound, has wrongly engaged by abandoning. Those beings do not see me. The Buddhas are Dharmata viewed. The guides are the Dharmakaya. Since Dharmata is not to be known, it is unable to be known. Subhuti, what do you think about this? The one grasp that the Tathagata Arhat perfectly completed Buddha is due to perfect marks. Subhuti, you should not view so. For Subhuti, the Tathagata Arhat perfectly completed Buddha does not manifestly and completely realize unsurpassed perfect and complete enlightenment due to perfect marks. Subhuti, if one grasps that some dharma has been designated as destroyed or annihilated by those who have correctly entered the Bodhisattva's vehicle, Subhuti, it should not be viewed so. Those who have correctly entered the Bodhisattva's vehicle have not designated any dharma whatsoever as destroyed or annihilated. Further, Subhuti, compared to any son or lineage or daughter or lineage who completely filling with the 7 kinds of precious things, as many world systems that there are, grains of sand in river Ganges, what to give gifts. If any bodhisattva attain forbearance, that dharmas are surplus or unproduced, on that basis the heap of merit they themselves would produce would be much greater. Further, Subhuti, a heap of merit should not be acquired by the bodhisattva. The Venerable Subhuti replied, Bhagwan, should not a heap of merit be acquired by the bodhisattva? Bhagavan says, Subhuti, acquire, not wrongly grasp. Therefore it is called acquire. Subhuti, if someone says, the Tathagata goes or comes, or stands or sits alive there, he does not understand the meaning explained by me. Why is that? Subhuti, because the Tathagata, the one thus, does not go anywhere, nor has come from anywhere. Therefore one says, the Tathagata Arhat, perfectly completed Buddha. Further, Subhuti, if some son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage were to render as many atoms of earth as exist in a billion-fold world system, like this for example, into powder, like a collection of surplus atoms. Subhuti, what do you think about this? Would that collection of surplus atoms be many? Subhuti replied, Bhagwan, it is so. That collection of surplus atoms would be many. Why is that? Bhagwan, because if there were a collection, the Bhagwan would not have such collection of surplus atoms. Why is that? Because that collection of surplus atoms that was taught by the Bhagwan was taught by the Tathagata as no collection. Therefore, one says collection of surplus atoms. That billion-fold world system that was taught by Tathagata was taught by Tathagata as no system. Therefore, one says billion-fold world system. Why is that? Bhagwan, because if there were to be a world system, that itself would be grasping a solid thing. That's taught by the Tathagata as grasping a solid thing, was taught by Tathagata as no grasping. Therefore, one says grasping a solid thing. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, grasping a solid thing is itself a convention. That dharma does not exist as expressed. Yet, it is grasped by ordinary childish beings. Subhuti, if someone were to say, viewing as a self is taught by Tathagata, and viewing as a sentient being, viewing as a living being, viewing as a person was taught by Tathagata, Subhuti, would that be spoken by right speech? Subhuti replied, Bhagwan, it would not. Sugata, it would not. Why is that? Bhagwan, because that which is taught by Tathagata as viewing as a self was taught by Tathagata as no viewing. Therefore one says viewing as a self. The Bhagavan said, Subhuti, those who have correctly entered the Bodhisattva vehicle should know, should view, should appreciate all dharma like this. They should appreciate like this, not abiding whatsoever in any discrimination as dharma. Why is that, Subhuti? Because discrimination as dharma, or discrimination as dharma, is taught by Tathagata as non-discrimination. Therefore one says discrimination as a dharma. Further, Subhuti, compared to any Bodhisattva or Mahasattva who completely filling unfathomable and incalculable world systems with the 7 kinds of precious things, what good gifts, if any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage, who having taken as little as a stanza of 4 lines from this perfection of wisdom, what to memorize or read or understand or correctly and thoroughly teach it to others in detail, on that basis, the merit he himself would produce would be more incalculable, unfathomable. How should one correctly and thoroughly teach? Just how one would not correctly and thoroughly teach. Therefore one says, correctly and thoroughly teach. As a star, a visual aberration, a lamp, an illusion, dew, a bubble, a dream, lightning and a cloud, view all the compounded like that. That having been said by the Bhagwan, the elders, Subhuti, those bodhisattvas, the fourfold disciples, bhikshus, bhikshunis, upasakas and upasikas, and the world with devas, humans, asuras and gandharvas, overjoyed, highly praised that taught by the Bhagwan, the exalted Mahayana Sutra, and the wisdom gone beyond, called the Vajrakata, is concluded.